Good morning. It is umbraCoffee episode 266. And today I'm joined by two very special guests, Ronald and Bolette. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, lovely to have you. Ronald, this week we were talking about when the last time you were on umbraCoffee was. I thought it was fairly recently. In fact, it was episode 88, all 3 years ago. So
3 years ago, yeah.
It's great to have you back nearly 200 episodes later. But thanks for joining. And Bolette, you're a new face to us, so maybe you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm Bolette, and I'm the product owner at the DXP team at the Umbraco headquarters.
Fantastic, and I think we'll be hearing a little bit more about your role coming up because there's some exciting announcements and your involvement with Package Team and all those DXP things. If you've probably not watched umbraCoffee that much, but you might be aware that I'm a little bit of a skeptic about this DXP concept.
Oh.
So I look forward to you convincing me that it's worth my time.
I'll try.
I'm joking. Fantastic. Hey, everyone in the chat. Great to see you all here. And we have a packed episode today because we have 2 weeks worth of news to catch up on. We had umbraCoffee last week at Umbraco Spark. You can go watch it probably in the sidebar somewhere over there if you want to listen to really poor audio. But this is 2 weeks worth of 2 weeks worth of news. So yeah, let's get cracking. You can tell Marcin's away because I'm not prepared, but Chrome window. There we go. Umbraco Spark last week, as I said. It was great. People in the chat. Let me know if you were there. Let me know how it was. But there, some great pictures being shared on Twitter. Some great memories. It was a really packed day. Some excellent talks. My favorite, actually, you'll be pleased to know, Ronald, was from one of your package team members, Lottie, who did a great talk about kind of package ecosystem and showed off some really cool templates and things she's worked on. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Lots of swag shared, people sharing lots of pictures of great talks. Some lovely pictures of people on the roof here at the M Shed in Bristol. So and enjoying ourselves, of course, with a bit of crazy golf, some hacking, the lot. Yeah, no, really good. Huge high five, you rock to the organisers. It was a truly excellent event. So well done. And we've had the kind of typical, as you get from every event afterwards, some write-ups from the people that attended. So Brace, the great people at Brace have written a article summarising their experience. I'm sure we'll see a couple more in a minute. And Rick's ahead of me. You've already mentioned Candid Contributions. Well, they did an episode live at, they recorded bits of an episode actually at the Spark conference, and they've sort of summarized that on their podcast. So you can go check that out. Of course, the link will be down below. Yeah, it's great to be back for in-person events. I guess for both of you, Code Garden is quite quickly coming up. So that's to be excited about. What's the buzz at HQ like at the moment? Because there's been quite a few announcements this week, hasn't there?
Yeah, many announcements have been made. So I think we're just very exciting and looking forward to it. Yeah, hoping as much as possible we'll buy in on the tickets. Early birds go out soon. So
indeed, yeah, 22nd of April. So next Wednesday, those go off sale. I think. May have got that wrong. I have it in my notes later, so let's not worry. Would that be your first Code Garden, Bolette?
Yes, it will. Yeah, and I'm actually also having a talk at Code Garden. So together with Andy, also from the DXP team, we'll try to give an update on DXP and how Umbraco is. Talk about how extensible a platform Umbraco is. So first Code Garden. First ever talk, so and first umbraCoffee today. So
wow,
I'm meeting so many new things.
Really, a baptism of fire at this point. In the space of 2 months, you'll have done everything.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, well, some other things we missed from the past week. Skrift, because that was a whole 2 weeks ago now, or a little bit longer even. Was the issue 92 with a couple of interesting articles. One on about using FTP or something. I'm a little bit unsure about what this is, but it's from Johan, and another one with an article from Nikhil about using Algolia search, another integration. Is there, am I right, is there an Algolia plugin now for Umbraco?
Yep. Yeah, that's where Adrian, within our team, colleague within our team, has been working on, and yeah, trying to get a integration with a different search provider compared to the built-in Examine Lucene version.
And do you know, is that integration is it pushing the data off to Algolia's indexes, or is it like a JavaScript thing that gets embedded on the site?
It's both. So it's service based. So you need to push your updates to the Algolia search service, and then on the front end you can basically use their APIs to search and get results back.
Yeah, we've had some challenges on a project where they were heavily using Algolia, perhaps too heavily, and it was causing bottlenecks in the network on the application. So because it's all an API call, and if you're using it in the same way as you kind of used to using the content cache, where it's just a quick call away, it's not quite the same thing. But it's a very powerful tool for creating a search engine that does. Well, clients always ask for, I want my search to just work like Google, don't they? Like that's never possible. So at least with Algolia, it's kind of close. That's great. Well, lots going on in the package sphere, and especially with your team. And as I understand it, Bolette, you're now kind of joint steward with Ronald of the packages team. Is that right?
Sort of. I think we came up with the name assistant steward. Obviously, Ronald is still a steward and maintaining a lot in the package team, and kind of making sure that is working and updating and stuff. I'm more helping out with some of the more administrative things in regard to the team, and then I also get to listen in on both the joys and the struggles from package land, and gather all these information. And with the new package team, I really hope to have some good discussions also with some feedback on some of the initiatives that we bring from HQ into Umbraco ecosystem. So
that's awesome. If you look at the DXP team, let's call it at HQ, of course, 2 years ago, that term was never even mentioned before. And now we've got 4 people working on it full time.
Yeah, 4 full-time developers and then me. Yeah.
Wow. So 4 devs and a product owner. Finally, again, someone looking after that part of the ecosystem. It would have been crazy 2 years ago to think that maybe Umbraco Forms would have had a product owner, because it was just not in that sort of shape. But of course, I know when Ronald and Andy came on board, Forms very rapidly, became the quality improved drastically, and
there were a lot of issues to be solved. Back then.
There were. And do you still look after deploy as well?
Yeah.
So you've got Forms, deploy, workflow, and all the integrations.
And all the integration in the marketplace,
And the marketplace. Wow. So in the
space
of
supporting packages as well, like and storage and
in the space of a year, that's drastically changed. The marketplace is, we were just saying before we went live, infinitely better than what we had before with like Hour, etc. So well done. But Bolette, you mentioned package team, and that's something that there's a key call to action here for, isn't there? Because the package team is open for applicants or reapplicants for a kind of new edition. Do either of you want to maybe tell me a bit about this?
Yeah, so I think I joined HQ in May 21, then became steward of the community package team, taking over the role from Andy in, I think, November, same year. And we're basically have been the same team since then. So actually, there has been more changes in stewardship than in package team members. So during the last visit, the community team visit, we basically picked up the idea of reopening again, setting up some new goals as well, because a lot of things have changed in the last couple of years regarding packages. Like you just mentioned, our being converted into the marketplace or moving to the marketplace, and the way packages are distributed has changed since V8 and 9 and up. So there's a lot of new things coming up as well. And
I remember the first package team, which was it Jesper who was leading that one, and it was one of their huge big projects was this Umbraco CLI and getting that out there, making it easier for people to, through like build tools and pipelines, release packages to hour. And nowadays that just feels so distant from where we are, but in reality it was 2.5-3 years ago. The marketplace, all the new stuff that's come in past 6 months, I guess, has been bubbling away behind the scenes for a little while.
And we're trying to use, and then that's probably also a big different way of approaching things, to not reinvent the wheel, so not create our own package format and having to create and maintain all the tooling around that format as well. So having just all the tooling for the NuGet packages is great. That's part of the reason why we're also using the NuGet feeds for the marketplace to get all the packages data, so you don't have to use a different service, push your packages to different platforms. So hopefully all that will make sure that creating packages, maintaining packages will become even easier than it was just a couple of years ago. And to make that happen, we would very much like some people to join a team, and but it's just sharing the experience they already have, or wanted to get some experience creating packages, give us feedback. Basically, anything. If you're into packages, would be great to just at least apply for the team, of course.
So am I right in saying that to be on the package team, you don't necessarily have to be a package developer? You just need to be someone that's interested in that part of the ecosystem and helping improve that. I've seen mentioned in the blog post that it could be through improving tutorials and documentation, as well as kind of advocating for issues that package developers are having. So you don't necessarily need to be someone that's pumping out, Kevin Jump or Lee Keller level packages. You can be just working on your first one, or not a developer at all, I guess.
Yep, that's correct.
That's fantastic. So you mentioned some key goals for the team. What are the focuses for the next year that maybe people might be interested in, could consider applying to help with?
I think that's mostly regarding the new marketplace. As some might have seen, we've been updating and adding a lot of features to that site as well. But there's still a lot of things we can improve, and one of that, it might be to have the package telemetry like at least used in some way to highlight the popular packages, or maybe even expose the actual data behind the packages as well. Then there's initiatives like the package awards, and that's something that will change this year as well. Now we're merging together with the Umbraco Awards. So it started off 2 years ago as a community thing. Then last year, the HQ basically added it to the Code Garden program as something from HQ together with the package team. And now it will be a proper award ceremony with a separate section, a separate category for the packages.
That's good, because like last year I was having let's say I stayed out a little late on the Thursday, and then I had a nice leisurely breakfast on the Friday morning, and then I get a message from Lottie saying, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Oh, just having breakfast. I'll be along in a bit." She's like, "Oh, you might want to be quick because Package Award show's coming up, and maybe you want to see that." And I think I had a runner-up in one of the categories or something, which was lovely. But it's a shame because a lot of people, I think, didn't know it was happening or missed it for alcohol-related reasons, perhaps. So it's great to see it brought together as part of the Umbraco Awards, because when you look at lots of these packages, lots of these projects winning Umbraco Awards, a lot of them are based off of packages or have spun out packages, open source things for the community. I know that the 2 Umbraco Awards we've won wouldn't have been possible without either the open source work we've done and the open source work of others. So it should really be recognized in the same way. It's a great change to see.
Yep. Yeah, and so that's something the package team will still help out on, either being a panelist, judge on the panel, or just testing out and then giving feedback. And then, yeah, there's just lots of things as a team we can do. We have a bi-weekly meetup to discuss things. And yeah, part of that is also Bolette joining in on occasion to get some direct feedback from the team itself. So
excellent. So the things you'd say if someone was interested in any of those things, helping out with the marketplace, improving the ecosystem for package developers and I guess consumers as well through the marketplace, and influencing things like the awards and whatnot to apply. And you mentioned also in the article a bunch of other benefits, like how to convince your boss. Well, you could be a gold partner if you're a gold partner already. You have direct access to the HQ, but not to be abused. You can, you get to brag. You get to help influence something that people in HQ, in the Umbraco ecosystem use on a daily basis, and really makes a difference to everyone's lives. So,
and the application form opened last week.
Yes.
And we'll close at the end of this month, after which we'll get in contact with everyone who applied, and then let everyone know who got on the team or not. And currently it's scheduled around mid-April to have the final announcement published as well. Exciting.
So you're doing a round of, let's call them interviews, if you will, with people, but as it says here, friendly Zoom chats. I guess that's not anything to be super worried about if people aren't confident.
Yeah, that's the same approach the core collaborators team did beginning of January, beginning of this year.
Yeah, that's great. And I've seen application forms like this before, and this isn't a scary form. Thankfully, there's not, I don't have to convince you of why I'm awesome or anything like that. You can just fill in your details and you'll have a chat with people and decide who's a good fit. How many people are you looking for? Of course, people who are already on the team can reapply. So we could end up with the exact same team potentially if everyone reapplied and you decide those are the best people for the job. But what sort of numbers are we talking?
Yeah, it will be around 5-6 people, similar to what we have now. So.
Excellent. Well, that's really exciting. So call to action. Go and apply if you're interested in any of these things that Ronald mentioned. And the Umbraco Awards, of course, they're open until April 15th, 16th.
Yep, like around that time. There's a longer period to submit your package nominations than previous years. So,
and I mean, the good thing is that the packet. Oh, I can't type, can I? The good thing is that the even for the package awards, where is it? Where is the awards on here? I don't know. It used to be linked. There we go. It's not such a taxing form to fill in either to nominate the package. So you can go onto the form and you just need to give a reason basically as to why it's something that everyone should be doing for anything that they're using on a daily basis.
So it's not only the package creators, the package authors that can submit their package, but also people that use a specific package and are really enthusiastic about that package and want that to be highlighted during the award show.
Yeah.
And the reason is for us to take into consideration during the judging process. So it's no problem if we're getting multiple submissions of the same package. If your description, your reason adds value, then that's a bonus for us. We'll of course test all the packages on how well documented they are, how well maintained, how easy it is to install, all the different aspects that are important for packages. And then similar to the Umbraco Awards, we'll have nominees announced a couple of weeks before Code Garden. So hopefully all the at least nominated package creators will be joining Umbraco, the award show during Code Garden. And then during the actual event, we'll of course highlight the winner.
Very cool. So yeah, go apply. Links will be down below, of course. There's nothing to lose, really. Now, that's not all, because there's been some other exciting things going on in the package team. I noticed, well, I've got two things, actually. Packages question time. This is an initiative. Is this something that Lottie's doing, or is this the package team doing this? I'm not clear.
It's it's mostly Lottie doing a lot of this work. Similar to the talk she did last week. It's great to have her, and I think that shows the dedication to the package team, packages, and just the Umbraco community as a whole. And
yeah,
this is done, at least created by her initiative as well.
Very good. So this is a virtual space happening straight after umbraCoffee next week. So 12:30 GMT, 1:30 European time, or whatever that is elsewhere, I'm not quite sure, where you can come on and you can ask questions or just listen in, and they'll have package developers there to sort of share their experience with certain things. I think next week is Lee, who's going to have a little chat about or answer questions about his work with the contentment and the other packages he's done. It's just a great way to learn from some well-respected package developers, I guess.
Yeah, and have the opportunity to just ask the people directly some questions, and it won't be recorded, so that's a thing to keep in mind as well. And hopefully we'll lower the bar in joining. So and you don't have to be afraid for the you don't have to be afraid to ask questions as well. Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah. Again, link down below, meetup page for that. It's a virtual thing. It's not really any excuse not to join if that sounds interesting to you. So next week, straight after umbraCoffee. Alrighty. Now, still on the theme of packages and DXP and whatever else, maybe Bolette, you want to take this one if you know about it? Umbraco Forms.
Yes. Yeah. The releases, Ronald, you need to help me out here.
I can go through some of the features that were added in the latest release. The first one, I think, is a nice one with the pattern, predefined patterns, especially for non-developers, having a way to just select a validation pattern from a list. That's a nice one. You'll still have the possibility to enter your custom regex.
So this in this example where the UK postcode has been provided, is that something the developers register the class to say this is the validator for that, and here's how you? That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the same way the built-in validation patterns are added currently. So you can also either remove built-in ones, change them, or add to them. So it's fully extendable right now. And then the next one is also like a more of an editor feature where you can where you can select the fields you want to display in the overview of the entries. That's using a similar configuration setup as the list views in Umbraco in the CMS. So yeah, you can have a better overview of the most important fields you want to have on the entries listing page. And yeah, next one, also a highly requested feature in having having rich text editor support in both the submission text, but also on other places like the email workflow. So you have some custom header footer text, both which support the magic strings formatting
in the RTE.
Yep. So you can use the same syntax, and it will properly HTML encode your values as well. So that was a bit of an issue we initially didn't think about properly, but that's all correctly fixed in the final release.
I can't even think how many packages there's been over the years to do RTEs in forms in various different ways. So it's great to see that finally coming into the core. As you say, it's been requested for probably, well, forever, 5+ years at least. Awesome. So release candidates are out now and people can go test those out. What's the best way to provide feedback if there is any feedback?
Yeah, we of course have the issue tracker for forms, a separate tracker. So yeah, if you see anything, please post an issue and we'll follow up on the issue tracker there.
How long is the release candidate period for this? Is there a defined release period?
I believe it's the regular 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, so this is coming out next week then, because the release candidate came out on the 9th. Okay. So maybe it's a little bit late to be providing feedback just now. Don't want to ruin Andy's weekend or anything, but coming out next week, so we can look forward to these features.
Yeah. But if you find something, please still report an issue. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Again, link down below. It's on NuGet and wherever else you need to download your packages from. What else have we got going on? Oh yeah, workflow. We've had the first new workflow release since workflow came out. So what's all this about? I think this was another one that went through a release candidate period, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this adds a new feature for history cleanup. So especially if you have a lot of content, a lot of approval of workflows, then similar to the history cleanup within the CMS for the older revisions of your content, this will clean up the approval status updates and make sure your database is nice and clean, will not explode over time.
Lovely, cool. So that's again out now from all good places, i.e. NuGet. Go check out point 1 of workflow if you're using that. Now this one is we've mentioned Lottie a lot today. Congrats, Lottie. I think you've been in every single segment we've done at least. Lottie released after her talk last week this opinionated package starter kit or starter template, which is a Visual Studio template or .NET template, for creating Umbraco packages that sort of bootstraps all the common things you might want with some opinionated elements. So I think it includes an Umbraco marketplace JSON file with sort of everything it'll pre-populate for you. It has a test site in there if you want a test site. It has dictionaries in there set up for languages. It's got this, instead of having the actual package manifest defined in code on disk, it defines it in code so that you can use it as like an RCL if you wanted to. This is a really, really nice thing. Oh, and then the build targets as well. Is that still a thing? Yes, if you're not doing an RCL.
Yeah, and we have some fixes for that are available in version 11, because that now supports the RCL. There is an open PR to add a template within the core CMS Umbraco templates package as well.
Oh, lovely.
So hopefully we'll make that easier for people to get started, but that will only work for version 11. So having this as a starter project is still very valuable.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So yeah, this is the opinionated thing from Lottie, and I can see people have already been engaging on the issue tracker, and as doing his usual magic of asking for new features. Yeah, great work. Really liking this one, and it's on NuGet as well, so you can install it and use it locally. Well done, Lottie. Other package releases: Articulate v4.4, a bunch of bug fixes here, including from Marky Mark and Simona. But yeah, new version of that. It's not still yet ready for modern Umbraco, but Shannon said it will be soon. He's just been a bit busy. Speaking of Shannon, a-Changin has a new documentation site, which is really cool, because a lot of people didn't know that a-Changin even had docs before. I think a lot of people would just struggle or maybe use the Umbraco ones, and a-Changin often the doc site actually told you a lot of how internally it worked and what you needed to do, so you could do some quite powerful things, but it was left with big gaps saying to do, I need to fill this in or whatever. That's no longer the case, thanks to Chad Curry, who's actually gone through and documented everything and moved this over to a different docs platform as well. I can't quite remember what it is, but sort of explains everything, and you can contribute it all back. It's all on the repo still. So yeah, really awesome work there from Chad and Shannon. Finally, some marketplace packages, because there was just so many this week that I couldn't feature the links for them. This one I saw, it's really cool, Passless. It's like a web authn-based authentication for the back office, where you can use your like Fido-based devices and do your authentication locally on the device, so you don't need a password for the CMS. Really nice looking one. Also from the marketplace, updates to contentment this week, the PDF checker, the PDF indexer, sorry, SEO checker, the Limbo Dream Broker plugin was updated earlier in the week as well. Whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, lots going on. Here's a question, maybe. What do we do about this? These two. It's the same package with two different namespaces, because until fairly recently, umbraco.community wasn't available as a package name prefix. So people released stuff under our.umbraco, and slowly over time, people are changing over. I know that Lee with Contentment has released two versions and is keeping them both up to date. And there is noticeably less downloads on the umbraco.community one than there is on the our.umbraco.contentment one. And then in this case, I know Rick has pushed out an update this week for the block preview, but has done it to both as well. What should we do here? I know NuGet doesn't offer a nice way of renaming and merging packages, but could the marketplace do something?
Yeah, we actually have the same problem with, we have the same thing with Umbraco Forms, because now it's umbraco.forms instead of Umbraco Forms concatenated. And there is a value you can adjust in the marketplace JSON to say this is the newer package ID I want to use, and that will basically remove the duplicates from the marketplace, and will show the versions that are available within one page. And then based on the selected version, you'll get the correct package ID to use for the installer. So there's a way to.
There's been a similar proposal for NuGet for years and years, and it's just never been implemented, which is again a real shame. Where you rename a package, or it's a continuation, but it presents all kinds of problems with versioning, etc. If you've versioned the new named one as 1.0 and you've already had a 1.0, like what do you do? Who knows? Yeah. But no, that's great to see that it's being considered, at least in the case of the Umbraco world. Awesome! Wow. Lots and lots going on in the package ecosystem there. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, a lot of updates to the marketplace site itself.
Yeah.
I think Bolette can mention some of the recent updates.
Yeah. Over the last 2 weeks, we added the category description and some tooltips on the categories, mostly to give the newcomers to the marketplace an idea of what to find in here. what can you expect to find within the different categories. Then yesterday, package award winners was displayed on the packages, both category and year, and whether the package was a winner or a runner-up. And after the package award show at Court Garden this year, we are looking into getting some feature these winners on the front page as well. So
there's an HQ badge for ones that are coming out of HQ, and let's have a think. Who won something last year? I mean, Kevin, right?
Yeah, you were a runner-up, right? So.
Oh, but on what?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't know.
Multi-link picker, or the link tree. What's it called?
I have no idea. Surely Kevin won something, didn't he? With using
yeah. Either the complete or the free.
Or did vendor win something? Construct vendor.
Vendor also won you marketing suite.
Vendor's a partner, so they've got their little weird partner.
Oh, you have to click into the package.
Sorry.
Go into the package. There we go.
Hey.
Yay.
Well, that's awesome. Lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice addition.
Yeah. The HQ icons you also saw, that is for supported products created by HQ. Gotcha. Or supported by HQ. Yeah, so that's another thing. Then we also make sure to import information about deprecated packages from NuGet, so they are updated in the search, won't be displayed in the search. And at the bottom of the marketplace, in the footer, we also added the information about last synchronization jobs. Yeah.
So you can know if it's actually been refreshed since the last time you checked, or if you updated your package.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. Can you think of anything else, Ronald?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, there are still a lot of other bug fixes and then other minor improvements, but I think these will be the most visible and useful for a lot of people.
Very cool. Well, that is that's definitely excellent, and it's great to see how quickly the marketplace is evolving. I also mentioned just before we went live that there's some things that I'm bugged about with like the thing, and of course there's an issue tracker, so I can go and after this episode I can go raise those, and Bolette, you can get an item added to the backlog or something for fixes, which would be awesome. Cool. Alrighty. Well, still plenty of other exciting things going on in the community. We mentioned Code Garden already, but Code Garden also, the website's a bit broken, but we'll live with that. The agenda, the schedule, the program is out. We have an announcement of all of the content. So there's the usual pre-parties and activities. If you want to go for a bike ride or play paddle, there's various HQ organized things there. There's of course the Umbraco Business Summit on the Tuesday, then a packed schedule of talks. Some things I was particularly interested in seeing here. UBuddy is coming back, which is good. That was, I think, a first in 2019, and we didn't see it resurface since, but I guess more details will be announced about that soon. Loads and loads of great talks from HQ and from the community. Of course, we'll have an umbraCoffee from Code Garden as well. Another packed day 2 of, again, more and more great events. A mystery speaker still to be announced, but we'll wait to hear on that one. And then, and another 2. But loads and loads of great content. And then on the Friday, more still great content up until sort of the end up until lunchtime, and then after that, people can go and enjoy themselves at Storms or wherever they decide to go. But yeah, that's looking great, and we have speakers. Nearly the full list of speakers announced. Bolette, you mentioned you'll be doing your first ever talk.
Yes,
that's very exciting. Ronald, are you speaking this year, or was it just Andy on the DXP side?
No, I think last year I presented the package awards. I might be a bit involved in the Umbraco awards this year, but no specific session.
Fantastic. And there is a Meet the Community Teams session there as well, which I guess you'd be involved in some way. But look, lots of great speakers: Lee, Pornima, Emmanuel, Dylan Beatty, Carl Schooner, me, Marcin. Wow, Danny, Alitza. Fantastic people from the community. Laura did a great talk last week at Spark that I highly recommend people go and see when she does a longer version of it at Code Garden, because it was really eye-opening. But yeah, just generally fantastic looking lineup. So go buy your tickets, because it's next week that they run out, or they increase in price, 22nd of March. So yeah, don't forget to do that. But yeah, we booked our flights this week for our team to go, so we're really looking forward to this event. Speaking of events, a couple other things going on. London Meetup is on Thursday next week. There will be a kind of recap of Umbraco Spark, and we're hosting it at Hugo and Cat in London. This is one organized by Lottie. Another shout out for Lottie. It's our first in-person meetup of 2023. Also coming up is the Umbraco Newcastle meetup on the 21st of April, which is the first ever Umbraco Newcastle meetup. Talks from Rick Butterfield and also from Bjarke. I wonder why Bjarke's going to Newcastle. It's ever so surprising. He's a big fan of Newcastle FC, if you didn't know. But yeah, that would be fantastic to see. It's a shame I'm actually not in the country at that time, but I would have tried to make my way up there otherwise. So if you're in the area, go sign up. Umbraco Accessibility Awareness Day, Umbrad, is back. They did their first one in 2020, and they're going to do another one, or 2021, and they're going to do another one this year. It's on the 18th of May, and they have a call for papers open until the end of this month, 31st of March. So go and apply, link again down below. They're sort of looking for topics on anything accessibility related. So it doesn't have to necessarily be directly Umbraco. It could be a more thought-provoking accessibility talk, but equally, if you've got something about improving accessibility in packages or your Umbraco websites or the back office, go and check it out. It was a very good event last time, from what I remember. So yeah, go apply, link down below. I've thrown this one in there. It's a bit cheeky. Pornima and I are hosting a global Azure event at the Microsoft Reactor in London on May the 12th. And it would be lovely to see some Umbraco people there as well. And it's always great to try and weave Umbraco topics into the .NET and the Azure communities. So if you have a topic you'd maybe like to talk about Azure, but plus Umbraco, go submit it. Again, CFP link is open and it's down below. Finally, we've been announcing this every week. Code Cabin, reminder, go apply. 7th of July is the deadline, and it's just a great weekend of chatting with developers, hacking on packages, etc. in the Peak District of the UK a bit later this year, 9th or something of September. Oh, I don't know. Never mind. Final quickfire things. Ronald, you mentioned this, and I'd actually honestly forgotten that I had written this tweet. But hey, I wrote up my wish list of features for the core CMS. Or for Umbraco as an ecosystem in general, a couple of weeks back, and shared my ideas like elements shouldn't live in the as JSON, they should be in the database, which is something being worked on. New cache and making that a bit more pluggable so we can do distributed caching.
I think we can say that either things are currently being worked on or are currently on the roadmap.
Exactly.
Work on in the future. So hopefully we'll get this in on short, or soon. Soon.
but I guess the last three are possibly the ones that are more relevant to the work that you both do on a daily basis, where they're sort of around this DXP idea that I said here. Oh, it would be awesome if I could just go to the marketplace and click a button and spin up a cloud trial with a package already installed. It's mostly applicable for things like vendor or new marketing suite where you want to try something out. And I believe that's on the roadmap as well, or at least spinning up trials from with packages, spinning up cloud sites with packages installed is on the roadmap.
Yeah, so the infrastructure is in place, and the workflow for creating new packages will be updated, so you're able to pre-select packages you want to have installed on your new package or your new project. And that, of course, can be extended in the future by doing things like installing packages into existing sites or integrating it into the marketplace, which is also displayed within the back office currently. So that's currently mostly thoughts and wishes from our side as well. But yeah, just know that there's currently work being done to
that's very exciting. So. And then this next one that I had sort of follows on quite nicely from it, where you've got licensed packages that if someone has just selected it from a marketplace inside the back office, they don't necessarily know, in the case of vendor, that I need to go to their website, buy a license, drop a file in a specific place on disk. And I said that, if anything, would be one of the best things we could change to improve the DXP sort of experience, where we have licenses managed in the back office. And I know Nathan tweeted to say he's been working on something, he's been playing. Is that something also being considered, Bolette?
Yeah, it is. At the moment, we're working on talking about licensing. We are rolling out across our products. So right now we have licensing for workflow, and we're going to roll out that on forms and deploy. And then we of course also consider if we should give this to third parties. So yeah, that is something we are considering, but there's a lot of automation work needed. So at the moment we don't have any concrete plans or times for it, but we're working on it.
I was very clear in this thread, like these are all dreams, and I'm oversimplifying every single one of them. It's far more involved, and even with things like the cloud thing and licensing, it might be a financial question rather than a technical question in a lot of cases. But again, still awesome to see. And then my final one was more modular stuff. So like making the core CMS more modular, more pluggable, so we can swap out the media library for our own DAM tool, or even making all of the Umbraco SaaS offerings actually plugins, so I could just add Hardcore to my existing site, and it would then become a distributed thing. Again, far simplified, hosted search. I think I even said, it's probably somewhere in here. Oh yeah, a place in the CMS for storing and managing access tokens. Something I don't know if I spoke to you about it, Ronald, but I definitely had a good chat with Andy and Anders Björner about it as well. We'd said it would be lovely if we had a UI to manage that on a site level, user level, whatever basis.
Yeah, and that's something we encountered while developing multiple integrations, that a lot of code is shared in that regard, and in getting and storing the access tokens.
And the experience could be way better, more consistent across every package, if it was something that the core helped with.
And I think that's a general approach that we're taking at HQ, where the licensing is something where creating a separate component for, and that then integrates with all the products. I think I even saw a pull request created for V12 to do the same and extract the dependencies on a-Changin. Similar to what we did for V11 with image shard.
That was from Arcadius, I believe. So he's created a better abstraction around search in Umbraco, so that a-Changin is an implementation of that and can be more easily swapped out. More modularity for the win. I think that sounds awesome. So yeah, whilst these are all my dreams, these were my top 5 things, and they're all coming true, which is lovely. And there's plenty more where that came from. So don't worry, I'll keep you busy. I'll keep you all busy.
Thank you.
Cool. Final 3 things was a great article from Cornet about migrating. When you're doing an Umbraco migration, if you've got nested content and duplicate GUIDs, that becomes problematic at certain times if you're trying to map that over to block lists, etc. And he's got a nice solution here with some questionable SQL scripts to run against a database and hopefully make it all work. But great job there, Corne. A blog from Owen about how he's used the Umbraco 11 icons and the contentment icon picker to then render those in Razor on the front end. And I know that Lee Kelleher helped him out with this solution. So high five you up to both of you for that one. And to end, a little bit of sad news. Morten is leaving HQ. End of an era. He's been at HQ. Did he say how long? He's definitely got his watch. So he's been there.
Yeah, more than 10 years, I believe.
More than 10 years. Nearly 12, 11 and a half years. December 2011 is when he joined, which is, really an end of an era. But it's I'm sure exciting things lie ahead for him.
And he has helped in creating a lot of the cloud hardcore products evolve in the way it's done. So,
as Neil says here, if tacos becomes your Umbraco legacy, I think it will. People will fondly remember Morten making tacos at Code Garden and wherever else. So, yeah, congrats, Morten. Best of luck. He's still got a little while left, though, hasn't he? I think he's leaving in May, I believe. A little while. Anyway, that's that. That's the news this week. Only a little bit of news, but lots of exciting.
2 weeks of news. Yeah.
2 weeks of news. Loads of stuff happening in the package ecosystem. Not just things that we're seeing, but more background stuff, improvements to the marketplace constantly. Consideration about the wider ecosystem. Really awesome to see.
Yeah, and of course, if you want to be part of that and in shaping that ecosystem, then be sure to apply for the package team.
Absolutely, and the link's going to be down below straight after this episode finishes. So definitely take a look. You've only got just less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks today. It's 2 weeks today to apply. So don't forget to do that. Wow, busy week. Thank you both for joining me. It's great and lovely to meet you, Bolette. Hopefully we see you at Code Garden. Give you a big high five then. And an umbraCoffee mug because you've earned it. Ronald, if we owe you one, we'll bring you one as well.
It's getting a bit faded. So,
yeah. I can imagine.
But it's still in one piece.
Cool. Well, thanks both for joining. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you next Friday for another umbraCoffee. Bye-bye.